prep. Oh, games just to escape mistakes made in the past. If only I could change. And all the love you gave, it came and went so fast, and only left the pain. Now all I think about, just say that we can turn it round. I don't think I can go without. I don't think I can go without you. Without, can go without you. Without, can go without you. Brought my soul sunshine to a body as cold as mine. Really put me in overdrive, but it made me blind. Was all in my mind the whole damn time. You gave to me something I never had, all that I need, but then you took it back. I should have seen, but it happened just like that. Yeah, you hurt me bad. Now I play games just to escape mistakes made in the past. They never fade away. Now all I think about, just say that we can turn it round. I don't think I can go without, without you. I don't think I can go without you. Without, can go without you. Without, can go without you. Without you. Let me call you tonight, and I need you in my life. Baby, I miss you so much. Sick of love, but I need you in my life. Sorry, love, but you don't have to fight. Let me come and let me hug you tight. I'm sorry, love, but you don't have to fight. Let me make it better, I will sing to you. Shawty, you so perfect, let me fall for you. Sorry to know you're all alone tonight. Yeah, closer to you, falling. Hey, hey, hey. Sorry to know. Hey, hey, hey. Falling. Hey, hey, hey. Sorry to know you're all alone tonight. Yeah, close enough love, but I need you in my life. Sorry, love, but you don't have to fight. Let me come and let me hug you tight. Sorry, love, but you don't have to fight. I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling, falling for you. Let me call you tonight, and I need you in my life. Baby, I miss you so much. Let me make it better, I will sing to you. Shawty, you so perfect, let me fall for you. Sorry to know. Hey, hey. Sorry to know you're all alone tonight. Yeah,
Hello everyone. Sorry for the quick, or not really quick, but relatively long delay. We have finally gotten everyone ready to go in game. So we do have the Crusaders taking on the Bandits in game number 1, and we're just waiting for everyone to get ready for draft. But so far we found enough players, we're good to go, and both teams are looking very, very ready to have a good night. Hopefully, everyone has a good game, and we shall see what goes on. And we're going right into draft. We'll be back in just a second.
All right, so we're here into the draft. We're gonna be going into this. It's the Crusaders versus the Bandits for game 1 of the day. It should be a pretty good matchup here. Both of these guys sitting pretty good. Crusaders right now 8-4, Bandits 4-8. So Bandits really looking for that dub here on the day, for sure. You can already see Lucian, Kozak's getting banned away, Echo as well. These guys do not want to be having those champions in their games.
No, definitely not. And I really like the Lucian ban. I remember before it used to be a pretty strong flex pick. It's not as strong now. It's more of a strong pick for the mid lane. But even so, the champion can be a strong lane bully in that mid lane ADC. It's a little harder to pull off. I also like the Echo being taken away. I imagine that's something that the red team who's on the red side this game? Is that the...
That should be the Bandits on the red side and the Crusaders on the blue. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine that's a strong pick for the Bandits mid laner. If it is a jungle Echo, I don't think it's as worrying. I don't think you need to ban that one out necessarily. I have the Teemo ban coming through. Interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, for sure. A little bit questionable there. I'm not too sure about it, but it's bad nonetheless. So there are 2 subs playing in for the day. We got instead of Fractal Furco that you'll be seeing there on the Bandit side, it's going to be Kindred main for the win. And in the top lane for the Crusaders is going to be Peakley subbing in for the Crusaders over there. So Solkar not able to make it, and Furco not able to make it for the Bandits. So these 2 guys are subbing in and playing for the day. You can see Senna first picked over there for the Crusaders. That's going to be going to Mako. Pretty strong player on the side of the Crusaders. So that Senna is going to be in good hands for this game. We'll see what the Bandits retaliate here with the other 2 picks.
The Senna, one of the strongest ADCs right now. I know in the next patch, I think Senna's going to be taking a nerf, but for 11.4, Senna still going to be very strong, still going to be able to absolutely shred with the Kraken Slayer and then straight into Ginsu's. As long as you can get those 2 items, Senna is an absolute monster. Red side actually going to go ahead and pick up the Azir, which I think is really interesting. The Thresh, a good answer to the Senna, but the Azir blind picking that this early could be a little dangerous, but also I feel like Azir is fairly safe.
Yeah, Azir, pretty strong champion, I think, in the current meta. If you could pilot it well, you can get off some, highlight plays with the stream of shuffles. Thresh picked up as well, and then Crusaders answered back with the Seraphine. So, in my opinion, Seraphine is still absolutely broken. That champion needs to be hotfixed, nerfed, or something, because there's just too much utility in that kit. You just have, shield, heal, CC, charm that goes through your allies and enemy champions. So it's just a very strong pick at the current time. And, Crusaders picking up on that. It's probably going to be going down to Tainted Red down there in the bot lane. And for the Bandits, though, King Caterwall hovering that Caitlyn pick for High Reef down there in the bot lane. It looks like it's probably going to be going... actually, it's going to be the Tristana picked up instead. I honestly really like Tristana. I think she should be picked more often. We've been seeing her a lot around in pro play in the LCS. And she is one of those flex picks, right? But since Bandits showed the Azir so early on, it's probably going to be that Tristana going down into the bot lane.
Yeah, exactly, because the Azir is shown. Azir is really not going to go anywhere else, and Tristana, Thresh, also just a great lane in general. An interesting Malzahar ban. They've already shown the Seraphine, which I guess you could say could be going support still, and there's still a decent chance that it is going support, since there is a Vladimir picked up if Vlad is not going into the top lane. it would be going in, that would be Seraphine support, which is why they want to go ahead and get rid of Malzahar, which would be very, very annoying for the Azir to deal with. So I do like the Malzahar ban. I would like to see another ban away from the mid lane just to make sure, like, just to cover more of your bases. I think getting rid of something like a top laner or a support, just in case the Seraphine and Vladimir aren't going exactly where you expect them to go. Well,
Yeah, for sure. And something about peak left in the top lane. I actually know this guy loves to play the Vladimir. So I honestly think it's going to be the Vlad in the top lane. I think that since the Bandits left it open, this is a direct pick up there for Peakley. He loves the champion. He pops off on it a lot. And the interesting thing is here, King Caterwall also likes to play the Vladimir. So he's been playing it sometimes in solo queue and things like that. So it's kind of like not really a takeaway, but they answer back with it. So I honestly think the Vlad pick here is pretty smart. Ornn, Malz, Kindred, all taken off the table. Kindred main has that name for a reason, right? He's probably a Kindred main, so he's going to be trying to do that in this game. They're going to take it away, so not going to give him that comfort in the jungle for the Bandits. So Crusaders answer back with some intelligent bans. Nunu being hovered here as well is going to be taken off the table. So we'll see what the Bandits here pick up for their second round of picks.
I'm very excited to see how they end up rounding out their team. They're going to... the Bandits will have counter pick, which is really nice for them. I expect them to take their jungler as a result, so they can save that counter pick once they see what exactly the Crusaders will end up going for. And if I had to pick a jungler here, I'd still say Udyr is fairly strong. Well, they're going to go for Evelynn. I was going to say Udyr is fairly strong, even though the nerfs to farming in the jungle were hit, which makes him feel a lot weaker, but he still does exactly what he needs to us. But Evelynn being picked up instead is it's very interesting, right? Because Evelynn is a very feast or famine champion, and if this Evelynn cannot get rolling early, and if they're able to shut down that Evelynn, if they're able to shut Evelynn down early, it's very detrimental for the side of the Bandits.
Ooh, and the Skarner being hovered here for the side of the Crusaders. Are they going to pick it? We'll see here. It's actually going to be the Kayn pick. So they answer back with another assassin. He could even go into Rost here for the Kayn. I might end up going into that as well. We'll see what he decides to opt into. There are quite a bit of ranged champions on the side of the Bandits already, so that red Kayn would be pretty decent. Or you got 3 squishies already for the Bandits. Blue Kayn is just as optimal. Should be an interesting pick here for Soft Worm in the jungle. And we'll see what they end up picking for this last pick. They do have some flex picks, as we said earlier, on the side of the Crusaders, which can be pretty useful going to the later stages. It is going to be that Leona locked in down there. So it is going to be a Seraphine mid here for SEO Killer in the mid lane.
And this is one of those rare moments where Blue Kayn is actually very viable, depending on how the Bandits decide to round out their team comp. With their top laner, they should look for a tanky member, some form of frontline to do something against these Crusaders. As if they pick something squishy and just allow Blue Kayn to do whatever he wants, that is very, very dangerous, very scary. Definitely don't want to have to deal with that. We'll see what they end up going with here, though, into the Vladimir, because that is definitely going to be the top lane pick. And they go ahead and round it out with Set, which is really good. I really like the idea for the team comp, at least having some more front line here.
Yeah, for sure. Set also pretty good at some of these team fights, picking people off in the side lanes, things like that. For the Bandits here, you have a pretty decent amount of front to back team fighting in a way. It can be a little bit more difficult to execute because you don't have that instant go button. While you do have the showstopper there with the Set up there in the top lane, it can be a little bit more difficult to get some of those engages off if you're not able to properly land your CC or set it up around objectives and things like that properly. So overall, I think it's a smart pick here. It's going to be something that mitigates the Vlad a little bit. You do have a lot of sustain from Set's passive. You're able to sustain a lot of damage early on, so not the worst thing, but laning into Vladimir can always be quite annoying just because of the amount of sustain he has up there in the top lane.
For sure. And another matchup that I'm very excited for is going to be Kayn Evelynn, and just seeing how they're going to interact with each other. Kayn doesn't have the strongest early game in the world as his champion. Kane's not realistically a champion until he gets his form. But Evelyn's early game also not great, so gonna need some help from their solo laners if they want to do anything in the other's jungle, or it's just going to end up them just farming with getting in little ganks here and there, as Kane is going to be trying to farm some souls for his form.
Yeah, for sure. And things like, I don't know, it's pretty interesting because, like you were just talking about, these two junglers take a little bit more while, a little bit longer to, set up, to be able to get those ganks off properly, things like that. And this is coming out right after the jungle nerfs, right? Jungle just did get hit pretty decently hard with the camp nerfs. You're losing quite a bit of XP on Krugs and on Grump and things like that. So it's a pretty interesting choice here to go in for more of these level 6 junglers, more of these, scaling junglers here. You really want to wait till level 6 to really get on the map and start doing stuff. But Azir versus Seraphine, I have not seen this matchup a whole lot. I would imagine it's pretty even-sided as long as Azir doesn't get too much prio in the lane. Seraphine pretty good at pushing waves in and having some decent amount of prio in the lane with her double spelled Q. So the Bandits did end up losing a ban as well, just because it took a while to get their sub in here in the jungle. Kindred Maid coming in a little bit late into this, and Piklay being the sub for the other side, they do have to give away that ban at the start of the draft. So that's going to be why you're seeing that last draft, or that last ban over there not being taken for the Crusaders.
Gotcha. That makes a little bit more sense now. With the they did on the actual on the Penta-Q they banned away the Ashe, which I thought was a little weird, but maybe that's why, because they knew that the other team did not want to take it. Okay, so It wasn't the Crusaders that lost the ban, it was the Bandits that lost the ban, and they banned away Teemo, and I think that was the ban that was actually like
like a pretty throwaway ban, Yeah. I don't know if we play Teemo here.
Because they wanted
more of these comp games.
Makes more sense now that I'm looking at it. That one made more sense. I was like, Ashe is still kind of competitive, but like if it was the Crusaders that were banning something, that's the only one that I could see that would actually that's the one that's missing anyway. And that's the only one that I could see being not so competitively viable, even though it's still playable.
Yeah. And looking at these two team comps, who do you think actually won the draft here? I think it's two pretty weird ideas here for both of these teams. Like, there's not a whole lot of setup. I mean, I guess you have Leota for the side of the Crusaders and, Set on the side of the Bandits in a way, but most of these guys are just like kind of solo peel, or, they kind of all. I don't really see the ideas here. What you got any insight for me on that, Shogun?
Yeah, so I do like both drafts. I think both drafts are looking to accomplish different things for sure. The only thing I don't like from maybe the Bandits is the Evelynn pick. I think the Evelynn pick is very strange. You don't have great primary engage. The only person that you have on this team is Thresh, and I feel like it's a little bit harder. It's a lot more pressure on Thresh to be able to hit those hooks. Maybe I'd go for something else in the jungle for this team comp, such as like the Hecarim being up. Hecarim would have been really good. I think actually Hecarim for the Crusaders also would have been really, really good, considering the synergy that you have with Hecarim Seraphine. Those two together are absolutely insane. That being said, the team fight potential that the Crusaders still have with the Seraphine and Leona ultimates alone is going to be very, very, very killer for the Bandits. And Vladimir, of course, doing as much damage as he can in the middle of all that, maybe even backline diving the Azir. I'm pretty sure he can pull under his ultimate. So it's going to be very interesting for sure. I think it's going to be more outplay heavy or like skill matchup heavy in terms of the team fights. And something else to note is I don't think Seraphine and Azir is like the only close matchup I want to say. Vladimir should hard lose to Set in the top side, and Senna Leona hard lose to Tristana Thresh in the bot side, at least early game.
Yeah, we'll see how these matchups down there end up turning out, because like you're saying, it should be like pretty one-sided down there, and pretty one-sided up there in the top lane as well. And just to go back to your jungle point there, yeah, like I gotta agree with you completely. These two junglers don't really fit for either competitions, in my opinion, at least. You would definitely want it a little bit more of a frontline heavy, and a lot of these other tank junglers were up. You know, the Crusaders hovered the Skarner there for a second, and I was really excited to see it. I would have loved to see it here. You know, you get so much extra CC. It's a frontline champion that you can just, you know, stick in front of the Seraphine and Senna, just so they have the space to get these auto attacks and these spells off in these fights. And I would have liked to see that. But the Kayn, if he does end up going for Ross, it can play a similar role. But considering there's Tristana plus Azir here, I have a feeling we might be seeing a spicy blue Kayn. So a few more seconds on the delay. The Spectator, we're going to be going into the game shortly here. It should just be a few more seconds. We're going to send it off to break for a little bit as we get all synced up and ready for the game, and we'll be back in a few seconds here.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like that, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come at me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free.
All right, we're back to the LAS Draft daily play here, or weekly play, excuse me. And it is going to be the Crusaders versus the Bandits. Crusaders are on the blue side, Bandits are on the red. Should be a nice matchup. Crusaders are at 8-4, Bandits at 4-8. So Bandits really looking for the win here. And we're going to give a quick rundown of these two teams. So for the blue side, on the Crusader side, Peakley subbing in up in there in that top lane, playing the Vladimir, Soft Worm in the jungle, playing that Kayn over there. Ezio Killer in the mid lane, playing the Seraphine, and Mako and Tainted Red playing Senna plus Leona in that bot lane. Did you want to give a rundown for the red side?
I will. Yeah, we have Prince Sky in the top lane playing Set. We have Kindred main for the win playing Evelyn. King Caterwall is playing Azir in the mid lane. High Reef playing Tristana. And God King Karthus is playing Thresh in the bot lane. And real quick, I just want to go over what we just saw in the Tribush. We had the Crusaders 5-stacking Tribush, which if you're... So, for anyone who wants to kind of learn how to deal with someone like a Thresh, Blitzcrank, Nautilus, or Morgana, any of these champions that are going, like, you know that they're probably going to look for some sort of invade. If that's like what you have in your mind, you can 5-stack a bush and try to counter invade, but you should at least leave, and you shouldn't just sit and guard your own bush. If you're going to just guard your own bush, you should just 5-point, just like the Bandits did. So you sit at each entrance, including mid lane, so that you see whenever the other team is coming in.
Yeah, Yeah, and we saw the red side, the Bandits over there doing that 5-point like you just said. Maybe they weren't expecting to do any of those shenanigans with the Thresh there. I would have liked to see some early action on. Got King Karthus on the Thresh would have been nice to see if he got a hook off early on. And pretty standard matchups all across the board. There should be some winning ones here up there in the top lane for the set. And as you said earlier, the Senna, Leona down there in the bot lane should be getting the push on early on. And Evelyn already to the races on her Wolves there, going for a cool, clear start here for herself. Possibly some early action. Tainted Red is still level 1, so Gonki Karthus looks for the hook. He does find it. That is an explosive charge on top of Tainted Red. One more auto attack will do it. High Reef! He finds the first blood. That's a first blood down there in the bot lane. Tristana gets to kill. High Reef is barely getting low now, and Mako is trying to find something back, but he just can't find it down there. That's going to be the kill down over there for the Bandits, and it is a bloodbath already.
Yeah, for sure. And something that I'm a little confused about is I don't think Tristana thought that they were going to be able to get that kill. Yes, they hit level 2 first, and they started posturing, moving up forward, but she had Q second, and usually if you're going for the kill, you want to take W second, which, unless she just didn't use W, which then that's fine, but she did flash forward, so that makes me think that she didn't have that W available. And on top of that, I didn't think she had to use flash. I think the explosive charge was enough to finish off the Leona. But either way, still a great kill and a great start for the bot side of Bandits right now.
Yeah, for sure. And crucially, Mako did not take the heal. Did opt in for the barrier here. Hold that thought. Kindred Maid is into a battle here with Soft Worm. He is a level down here. Gets the worst end of that trade. Peak with the first move in there at the top lane, and Ezreal as well in the mid lane getting the first move there. But as I was just saying, you had barrier down there in the bot lane, and Tristana, as we were informed, did not have jump there. So she had started the QE, so closer charge and her Q to try and get some extra auto attacks in and push the wave, and it ended up going in her favor completely.
Yeah, for sure. And we might have something developing in the mid lane here.
Yeah, possibly something. Kindred Main is still quite low, not able to get any priority around these Scuttle Crabs. He is possibly getting double scuttled here, but Kindred Main does not want to give it up. Softworm does end up getting the smite in the end. That's going to be a double scuttle, and that's going to be a Kayn straight to the races here.
Yeah, and Kayn having double scuttle is very scary, as we were noting in the loading screen. The Kayn did not actually take Dark Harvest, so most likely not going blue Kayn, actually almost certainly going red Kayn, which is weird, because yes, red Kayn is almost 100% of the time going to be infinitely better than blue Kayn, but like this game, you don't have a lot on the enemy team that can stop you from doing what you need to do. I think the worst thing about the enemy team is that, I guess, Azir can Shurima shuffle you away, can also just use his soldiers to get away as well. The Thresh Lantern makes it a little bit harder as well, and the Tristana W is going to make it hard to do your job as well. Hold on.
Some action up here in the top lane. Piccolo getting the flash out of Prince Sky up there. Prince Sky just playing a little bit too far up under his tower. So Piccolo definitely getting the better of this. He's looking for the engage here. Prince Sky just gets solo killed by Piccolo. That's going to be a nice solo kill for himself up there in the top lane. And this is a sub here for the Crusaders. He's popping off already.
Whew, oh my goodness. That was one heck of a play. Flashing under the tower to get the kill. Previously blowing Set's flash just a little earlier, and Set really having nowhere to go, nowhere to run. I don't know where, I wasn't paying attention to where Evelyn was on the minimap. If she was in the area, I think she might have been bot side during that. Would have been nice to have her around, but if she's bot side, nothing that Set can do, nothing that his team can do from in there, and that's just a really good heads up play from the Vladimir in the top side.
Yeah, Piccolo definitely finding the opening that he needed. And as you just said, getting that flash earlier from Prince Sky, and it just made all the difference, right? Prince Sky can no longer get away from that. He has no dash. He has nothing. It was not level 6 yet. And Piccolo just seeing the opening and taking it, not acting afraid at all here, subbing in for the Crusaders. So something I was talking about earlier in the draft is this guy Piccolo loves to play the Vladimir. So the fact that, the sub comes in, finds something he's comfortable on and is able to get it straight through the draft. It's going to make it a lot easier here for the Crusaders, having to opt in for a sub here. So again, state of the map here. Nobody's really gone for a dragon just yet. It has just spawned up. Evelyn is down a level and a half here in the jungle. Software getting the better of this jungle so far, has been able to just get a better of a lot of it just because of the priority his mid and top lane are getting here.
For sure, the priority that mid and top are able to get really opening up what the King can do. And on the other side of that, the Evelyn going to have a much harder time of doing anything. The fact that Kane is getting ahead early means that Evelyn might not really get to become a champion this game, right? If she's not able to find any kills, that's going to be very hard for her to realistically affect the map and help her teammates out at all, or even get herself ahead.
Yeah, and we were talking a little bit about this as we were loading into this game. We would have much rather have seen something a little bit more utility based in the jungle role. This Evelyn and Kane definitely want, or a little bit, you know, you have to do one thing with these champions. You either have to get ahead and get your team ahead, or you're going to be falling behind most of the game and you're going to get out jungled by the other side. And so far, it's been the Kane here for the side of Crusaders, Soft Worm in that jungle, getting the better of this pretty heavily on, and Piccolo is going to be going in a fight up here against Prince Sky up here in the top lane. Is this going to be it? That's going to be the center ultimate coming out. Prince Sky is going to do it. One more auto attack with Piccolo again. That's up there to the top lane. Piccolo, the super sub. This man is popping off 2-0-0. Did have some help from the center, but in the end of the day, Piccolo playing with fire up there, and he's not afraid to do it.
Yeah, for sure. The Senna ult coming in clutch, and it doesn't look like anything's going to happen there in the bot lane. Kane just coming down. But yeah, for sure. That was such a close fight, and Set knows, like, I have the damage to kill him, or kill this Vladimir. I have the time to do it as long as, you know, no external forces interfere. But lo and behold, that external force did, in fact, interfere, and that was Senna ulting, giving him a very clutch shield. I actually forgot which side the Senna was on for a second and thought the Vladimir might have been dead. Saw that shield come through, and that's just heartbreaking for the Set.
Yeah, the Set, Prince Sky up there thinking he had it in his hands. He could taste the blood. He was like, you know, you saw it killed me once, Piccolo, but not again. Dawning Shadows going straight through from Mako, and he saves his top laner. Piccolo able to make it happen up there with the help of Mako down there. And overall, this Vladimir is going to be sitting pretty. 23 CS up on Prince Sky right now. It is just a massacre, right? It's going to be real hard for the Set to have any impact. Is opting in for the Blade of the Rune King as well. So we're not going to see this Turbo Chem Tank Set coming through here, running through the team. It's going to be that more squishy Blade of the Rune King for himself. Did opt in for that Vamp Scepter, so it's probably what he's going to be going for there.
So I see the Vamp Scepter, and I already am thinking, that's not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see maybe a longsword and start building grievous wounds when you die the first time, because you need to stem the bleeding somehow. And then he finishes the Vamp Scepter. He also has now boots and a dagger, and now I'm just trying to figure out what do you do. And you need at least a longsword to start getting that grievous wounds item. And hold on, Evelyn might be caught out.
We see some pings here from the side of the Crusaders. It's not going to be the most, so Kindred Main is able to steal away that Scuttle Crab, so it's going to be the first one for him. Does finally end up getting one for himself. And back to the regular lane stage. The Zir did move up first here for the side of the Bandits, and overall it's going to be pretty good. And remember, High Reeve got the first blood in this game. That bot lane I thought was going to be a lot more volatile after I saw that early kill down there, but so far it's been a top lane showdown. And you can already see here Kindred Main is trying to help out his top laner Prince Sky, and Kindred Main though might be getting caught up here. Has not used ultimate just yet. Uses it now to get over the wall. That's going to be a flash there from Soft Worm just to try and look for it. They're not going to be able to find it in the end, but heads up play there from Soft Worm, and know that Kindred was still hovering topside and he makes it happen. But hold that dock, because there's some action here. That's a flash in from Gonki Tarthas. Tries to find the play back onto him, does only finds that. But we're going to be going back up here to the top lane. That's a showstopper into the back line of Piccolo, and it's just going to be him. Uses the Haymaker to try and stay alive. Piccolo is under the tower, pops the Silas thumbs down. That's what I wanted to see. And while all that was happening, High Reef was getting killed on the bot side. All right, I'll let you talk about what we just saw there.
All right, so a lot of things just happened, and something I was going to say about the hold on.
More action is popping out here. SEO Killer now possibly getting locked up by the Azir here. King Caterwall does not want to let this poor little Seraphine walk back to her lane. Overall, not going to be the most, but we just saw Soft Worm try diving with no ultimate.
Yeah, for sure. And so I was going to talk about the bot side before, as you were talking about how volatile it was. Senna and Leona were doing a really, really good job of respecting the fact that, yeah, Thresh, Tristana can absolutely melt them. And they were giving them the space that they deserved, except for that moment where they didn't, and Tristana just absolutely bursted Senna, but what didn't get enough damage to kill her, and because of that, Leona is allowed to come back down, and because they've already created so much space, Tristana doesn't have the jump to get herself away. Thresh can't hook himself out of there, so he can't lantern Tristana out, means that they have all the space in the world that they need, and Senna can free hit Tristana as much as she wants, and the Thresh, Tristana can't really do anything about that, which is what leads to Tristana going down at the end of all that, with also possibly a roam down, but I'm not sure if that ended up happening. As
the Encore comes out here, SEO Killer possibly looking for it. Not going to find anything just yet. Soft Worm looking for some more action. Q's in and tries to find some more damage. SEO Killer has to blow the flash already. And Soft Worm is just going in. He's trying to look for more. Prince Guy is here on the top side. SEO Killer possibly looking back here a little bit too close. That's a flash from King of Cutter while he finds a kill. Now Soft Worm is going to be trying to stay alive here. Use the ultimate to go inside Prince Guy. Pikley is trying to keep the rest of his team alive. He is quite strong. 3-0-0. Kindred Mage for the win. Now going down as well. Pikley finding the first kill. He's on a rampage. Prince Guy looking for some more. That's a Leona ultimate. The Tainted Red has moved up, but that's going to be the end of the play. That's going to be a 1-for-1 in that mid lane.
Pikley is a monster. That's the main takeaway that I want everyone to think of right now. He is 4-0-0. Let's see here. The Crusaders are okay. Tristana's fine. So Crusaders are about 1.4k gold, 1.3k gold up right now. More than that. Vladimir is 19k or 1900 rather. I'm saying 19k or and like 12k or whatever. What I meant to say is 1300 gold up. Sorry. And Vladimir is more than 1300 gold up on set. So not only is Vladimir his entire team's lead, he's making up for some of his teammates being behind with his gold lead right now, and that's terrifying for it to be on a Vladimir, especially since Vladimir is not supposed to do that well in the early game. I'm terrified to see what this Vladimir can do in the late game.
And Vlad's supposed to be that late game hyper carry that just rips through the team fights, but he's doing it already. We saw him get 2 solo kills already. He comes to help his jungle as well. We saw him tower dive at the very first kill in the game for himself, and now that's going to be the second dragon picked up there for the Crusaders. So already getting that early dragon stacking up. Nobody's really looked at the Swift Herald. Poor Shelly is over there hiding in her pits, quite alone right now. So we'll see which team makes the first move over there. But as we were just talking about, this mid lane has been going quite in the favor of the Bandits. If King Caterwall can, try and balloon this gold lead even further, maybe get a few more plays here. Excuse me, the plays are gone, so it's not going to mean anything, but, if he can make some more pressure here in this mid lane, it's going to be quite huge for the side of the Bandits, because they're pretty much playing a man down up there in the top lane. Set not able to do much so far in this game, and Pikley overall, as you just said, is a monster. He's just getting the better out of the top lane here. Prince Sky not able to do what he wants here. Hold that, because Pikley, he's looking for some more action. Use the ultimate now. Oh, but he's gonna get shut down. That's Prince Sky finding one back, says, man, I'm tired of you bullying me up here in this top lane. I'm gonna smack you down. Gets the last auto attack to take down Pikley. That's gonna be a big shutdown for Prince Sky in that top lane.
Oh, and the hook onto the Leona won't lead to anything. They decide it is unwise to go in on that. And yeah, Vladimir, Pikley's hubris getting a little bit, the best of him there in that situation. And he gives up a very important shutdown, was trapped under the tower for way longer than he would have liked. I don't even think Set ulted him. The fact that Set still has ult, well, hold on, we have Vladimir teleporting into the Rift Herald pit.
Yeah, Pikley is a little bit pissed right now. He's looking for some more. Use the E to get some bunch of damage now. That's the charm going on to the Set. He's going to be a little bit low. Piccolo looking for the kill onto Kindred for the win over there. He's going to be able to find it in the end there. That's going to be Seraphine going down to the Azir though, but now we're going to go down to this bot lane. Hyrufi's getting real low as well. Mako trying to find the kill. He auto flashes in, not finding it. Piccolo's flashing in as well. King Caterwall is trying to get away. He doesn't find it in the end there. That's action all the way over the map, man. This game is bloody, and that's what I like to see here. Both these teams not letting go of the gas. They want to find this win. They don't want it. The subs don't want to let the teams down, and they're trying to look for these plays around the map.
Yeah, and the plays going on are really, really good. I love the teleport in from Vladimir. He says like this. Now this is a play that we can actually take. Yeah, Seraphine can come up, and I'd say Seraphine, Vladimir, and Kayn at this point in the game way stronger than Set, Evelynn, Azir. Azir, while being up on the Seraphine, is only really has value in providing damage, whereas Seraphine doesn't really need to even like provide that damage. All she has to provide is her ultimate, and Vladimir can do the rest, right? Like that's all she's really there for in that situation. And Evelynn, not really a champion right now, not doing a whole lot of damage, was pretty much just running for her life from the Vladimir, and that's all she really can do. So. And that's just because of how fed this Vladimir is. And I'm also really disappointed that Vladimir has anti-healing before his lane opponent does. That just hurts my soul a little bit.
Definitely a little bit painful to feel there, man. Feeling it right in the bones. You know, Set not opting in for the executioners that he could have gotten very early on. Does not opt into it, and now they're gonna move King Caterwall up here to try and deal with him. Prince Sky is now in the mid lane to try and deal with that. A little bit of a weaker Seraphine, still has not finished her first item. You know, King Caterwall did a pretty good job of shutting down Ezio there in that mid lane, but it's just Seraphine at the end of the day. You still have hyper scaling on the side of the Crusaders, so for a team that has this much scaling and this much late game power, you're going to be able to do a lot here with these picks, but hold this because that's a Rift Trail being dropped on the bot side. This could be what the Bandits need to come back here, and it's going to be just a called off play there. They're going to get the tower and leave. King Caterwall is now here. Could he be looking for the Shurima Shuffle? Finds a Q, gets knocked up by the Kayn. That red Kayn coming in clutch here. Finds a knocked up Tainted Red, getting now hooked up by God Contarzan. There's going to be a fight here. That ultimate comes down. That's going to be a Shurima Shuffle. Not going to be finding the most of it, but that's going to be Mako just finding so much damage on Kindred main. Softworm is in the back line, taking on 3 members. It's not going to be the most. That's an ultimate coming out from the Senna. Dawning Shadows finds not the kill that he wants. Almost a little bit more damage was done it. Kyrie survived with a sliver of health, and overall it's going to be a 1-for-1, or yeah, 1-for-1 over there in the bot lane. But hold this, because Prince Sky is getting engaged here by Piccolo. Piccolo is just looking for some more action, but all as well on this bot lane. King Caterwall getting low as well. Got King Caterwall finding the hook, and that's going to be King Caterwall getting away with the Q in the end there. Senna is trying to look for something else here, does not find anything, and that's just going to be a lot of priority given away for this dragon spawning up here now.
Yeah, and what the Crusaders should do is they should just peel off, start heading towards the dragon. I feel like taking a reset right now might be a bit of a mistake unless they feel like they can get to the dragon quick enough, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to start walking there now. But that being said, the Bandits should have a very similar idea. If Azir goes top, they cannot go for this dragon. They should just give it. Evelynn can't really steal this. There's not a lot that she can do here. She should just walk away, and that's going to be, yeah, the Crusaders getting this dragon. And also, something to mention is that Azir shuffle was really, really good. It's just that you're not getting exactly what you need. I think there was someone on the back line trying to kill Senna, and whoever that was should have just been focusing the targets that were caught out by the Azir. If you do that, then you're definitely getting a kill, and you don't have to really trade anything away. Yeah, Senna's not really getting pressured, but there's not a lot that she can do if you just melt her team around her while she's being spaced out.
Yeah, for sure. Kindred main definitely tunnel visioning onto that Senna a little bit too hard. You know, we saw Kayn go straight into the back line and try to do a lot of damage. If maybe that Tristana would have been able to fight a little bit more if that Kayn was dealt with pretty easily with Kindred main's help. Overall, not going to be the worst there for the Bandits there. They do find a hook here onto Software, not going to be the most right now, but that is 3 dragons here for the Crusaders to hold that thought, because that could be a set rooted up here. The Lantern comes out, but it's not going to mean anything. Softworm finds a kill onto him, and this could very well be a Baron play if they push this second tier tower down. And it looks like they're going to be able to, and this very well might be a 5v4 that they need, but Tainted Red, he sees the blood in the water. King Kettlewell is here, finds a shuffle onto one, Soft Worm, not going to be able to find the knock up onto him at all. Piccolo taking the tower, and that's going to be the first tier 1, but that's an encore, finding onto 2, Kindred for the Bane for the win, is barely staying alive, he flashes, but it's still inside the Senna ultimate. Dawning Shadows finds 1, and that's going to be 2 kills for the side of the Crusaders, and they're looking for a second push onto this tier 2. Oh, but Piccolo, he's looking for some more action. He does not want to stop. He says, I'm the super sub. I'm going to carry this game. He looks for it, but is not able to find it. Overall, they're going to get this tower still. Piccolo just completely frontlining. Does not care if he gets hooked. Use the E here. He's going to use the pull to get away in the end there. Kyrie trying to do his best to, keep these towers alive, do what he can. But overall, Crusaders are just too far in the lead. They have too much in their pockets, and they have 3 dragons as well.
Yeah, right now the Crusaders kind of just slapping the Bandits around with their wallets, doing everything in their power to make them feel obsolete at the moment. And something I noticed that also kind of hurt my feelings was Set having played the Steel Caps for, I suppose, Kane and Senna, I guess, because and what I would have rather seen there is Merc Treads, just because for 2 reasons, right? Is one, they have so much more. Hold on a second.
Ooh, High Reef looking for some action. That's a big chunk with that explosive charge. He flashes, tries to find a kill. He wants this Ezio Killer. He finds it back. That's going to be that going down. Ezio Killer, he's going to probably go down here. God King Carthage finds one back for his team. But that was nasty. Ezio Killer, he said, you know what? Flash for me. I don't care. I'm going to kill you anyway. And he finds it. Tristana a little bit too aggressive for herself. Not even using the heal there at the end. Dottie had it. Kyrie just going a little bit too far and too aggressive there.
Yeah, for sure. The flash forward, not having vision in that bush was detrimental. Hold on.
Piccolo gets hooked up, but this is just a thresh here. Piccolo can very well be safe. He is, and Kindred Main does not even have an avenue into his own jungle. That's how far this Kindred is being pushed down and pushed away. The Crusaders, the laners, and the jungler are doing a great job to just take Kindred Main out of this game completely.
Yeah, for sure. Making sure that Kindred Main cannot play the game is 1-4-1, and at that point, at 23 minutes into the game, and you're playing Evelyn, you have a stat line like 1-4-1. It's like, why? Like, the champion, the pick, just did not work out. Like, against a different jungler, maybe, but you have to. I think,
oh my god! Tainted Red and his team just take down. The Thresh does not stand a chance there. Seraphine flashing over the wall. He finds 3 charms. That's going to be him going in. Software looking for the kill. He finds it in the end there. Mako taking one down as well. King Kettlewell is by himself. He can't do anything. That's all 5 Crusaders making it happen. Crusading the Bandits. Bandits might be trying to steal, but the Crusaders, they're looking for war. They're looking for blood, and they found it.
My jaw dropped when I saw that Seraphine flash ult over the wall. I thought for a second that she might only get 2, but when she hit the Tristana as well, that just blew that fight open. And that could theoretically just be a game-winning ultimate in another situation. And you could argue that it still is, because that happens that probably happened about 45 seconds to a minute before dragon spawning. So now they're just now getting back onto the rift, trying to do what they can. And hold on.
People with the fancy feet dodging away from that hook. They're just not even going to give them a chance to find them. And the rest of the team, rest of the Crusaders here are ready for this dragon. If I were the Bandits, I would have just said, spam ping the Baron. You know what? Give the soul, but we're going to get the Baron. We need something to stay alive. They're just going to hover around the mid lane just because Piccolo was able to get a lot of push there in the mid lane. Does not even give them a chance to walk over there. And overall, the Crusaders just finding every single thing that they want. Ocean Soul now in their pockets. 7,000 gold in the lead. 15-7 in kills. They're running away with this game.
Yeah, they really are. And I 100% agree with you that the Bandits should have been looking for that Baron. They had a control ward on it, so they knew that the Crusaders didn't have vision on it at the very least. Yes, the Crusaders should know that that is their plan. If the Bandits just disappear from the map entirely, they're probably on Baron. But there's not a lot that the Crusaders can do about it. I don't think they do Dragon fast enough and then run all the way up to Baron. I think if off of spawn, the Bandits just go to Baron, they can easily take that. It's fine. That's a really good play for them, and it keeps them in the game. But now they have nothing, like even more nothing than they had beforehand. And in fact, the Crusaders can start up the Baron.
And if you had nothing before, now it's just like, well, you just say game over, GG, go next. Slash FF, try to get out of the game as fast as possible. Didn't work out. Game plan was not there. Overall, I think King Caterwall has been trying his best here in this mid lane. Does opt in for that Banshee's Veil as well, trying to just survive a little bit longer, but there's just so much damage sources here on the side of the Crusaders. It's hard to even just, get away from anybody. You have a Leona here to deal with. Piccolo is going to get hooked up here. They're possibly going to be looking for him, but he could very well 1v2, but Azir is here to try to help him stay alive. Dawning Shadows comes out to help Piccolo stay alive. That's a flash for flash. God King Tarth is not able to find it, but that's going to be an instant start on the Baron here for the Crusaders. Piccolo just drawing 3 members from the side of the Crusaders. Make that 4 members. I didn't see the Azir over there. I completely forgot about him, and that's just a top diff, honestly. If you can pull 4 people by yourself as a Vladimir, and they're still not able to kill you, and your team gets the Baron, that's just, I don't even know what to say to that, man. That's complete top diff.
Yeah, for sure. And he lives. He did not die in that situation either. And he's able to just walk away from all 4 members that came after him. Yeah, it's looking like a hard top diff. I would have made a case for Seraphine being player of the game should Crusaders win this, which it's looking like they should win this game. That ult from Seraphine for flashing forward and then getting that ult off was huge. And hold on, Evelyn's in some trouble.
Worm just finding everything he wants right now. People are going to be TPing in here, trying to help the rest of his team. Does not care about that tower at all. It's just an Azir tower, and Softworm going aggressive, gets a big chunk onto Kindred main. Not going to be the most yet, but the rest of his team is able to just siege down through here, the mid lane. They do have the Senna, they have the Seraphine, they have everything they need. They're wearing blue and purple. They're ready to march down and take this game for themselves.
Yeah, they would just want to start taking towers, taking the mid lane, they can start taking everything that they want realistically. And we'll see how fast they can do that though, because Azir is able to poke them and start dishing out some DPS from a decent range, and he's going in.
Shreem Shuffle just finds nobody. That was desperation if I've ever seen it, but that's going to be 2 members going down from the side of the Bandits already. Crusaders take down 1 on the other side. Leona, that's just a support. That's not going to mean the most. High Reef and his support over there, God King Tarsus, are trying to stay alive, but they can't do it just yet. That's going to be Softworm looking for some more damage. 1 more auto attack will do it. 1 more little bit of damage would have done it. But his team is not able to find a Softworm, now getting destroyed under the Nexus over there. But that's probably going to be the game. I don't see a world where High Reef and God King Tarsus can hold this. That's going to be it. Piccolo now under the towers here, but he has to pull and try to stay alive. His 2 marksmen over there, backline, his 2 big backline threats are doing it. Mako just melting through the team, has that Kraken Slayer, has that Ginsu's Rage Blade. This man is online. This man was online 5, 10, 15 minutes ago. He's ready to go down. This is going to be the game. Crusaders are going to be able to do it. They're just playing with their food at this point. King Caterwall tried his best, but he couldn't make it happen. Ezio Killer and Piccolo just trying to end the game. That's going to be it. Crusaders find the win, move to 9-4, and they make it happen. Piccolo, the super sub, Ezio, the player who made it happen. That's going to be the game. That's going to be it. Crusaders find the win against the Bandits.
Yeah, and it was a really good win from them. I do want to say someone that's not going to get, I feel like, the credit that they deserve for this, and I'm going to give it to them, is Senna. Senna did a really good job of playing weak side this entire game, and it paid off tenfold in this end game. Yes, Tristana is out CSing her. She got that early kill off on the Leona, but after that, after they made 1 mistake, Senna even got a kill after that without, it feels like, any jungle help. She was able to survive while her jungler was off doing whatever he needed to do, and Senna was able to just slowly but surely scale in the game without being punished too hard by this Tristana or the Thresh, and had 0 deaths over the course of this entire game. However, that all being said, I still think that the reason this game was won was the pressure that Vladimir had on the game.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I got to give my, a standing ovation for this team, for the Crusaders. They made plays all around the map, played hyper aggressive. We're not scared, to make these plays happen. And as you were just saying, he's not going to get the recognition he deserves. But Mako also played extremely well, did the most damage in the game. And as a Senna down there, we saw him shoot at Dawning Shadows from across the map to save his top laner. And those are the plays that, as a top laner, it's like, dang. I really got a homie down there in the bot lane. So that's what I like to see here. Mako and Pikle, everybody honestly on the side of the Crusaders playing really well here in this first game of the day. And they moved to 9-4, looking pretty good in the standing as well. So Crusaders able to make it happen and they make it look clean and with style as well.
Yeah, for sure. They did do it with a lot of style at the end there.
Yeah, we saw them diving towers left and right. They did not care. They knew they were 10K gold ahead. Were wearing the blue, wearing the purple. They had full dragon priority to that entire game. So overall, man, I think just the laners on the side of the Crusaders played really well. We saw King Ketterwall really just try his hardest to try and make it a diff in that mid lane. You saw 16K damage compared to the 9K over there on the Seraphine. Was definitely trying his best, but overall, I think every other position on the side of the Crusaders was outmatching those of the counterparts on the Bandits there. All right, so that's going to be game one for the day of the LAS draft here. We're going to be sending it to break for a few as we get into the second game, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few.
up when I drown. You got my head spinning round. I'm out of control, just hold on. We can make this last a while, but you keep acting like a child. So we can do this one more time, then I'm not gonna do this anymore. Cry on my shoulder and make me feel like I'm the one. So go and cry on my shoulder so you
Hello
can
everyone.
find someone but
Before we
me.
do get into the next game, your player of the game is Mr. Mako from the Crusaders, going 5-0-8 on that Senna, just playing the game incredibly well. Not dying a single time even after that little bit of first blood going down. But overall, Mako played incredibly well. He did his job. He had some amazing ultimates, especially to help out Peakley when he took that little interesting fight up in the top lane. Almost did lose it, but having that Senna there makes things so much easier. What do you guys have to say about this game before we do go into the next?
Yeah, well deserved. Mako over there in the bot lane, just absolutely popping off as well. They suffered that early deficit early on, the first blood going straight into the Toronto's hand. But honestly, it didn't mean anything because this Senna was completely the difference maker for the side of the Crusaders down there in that bot lane. And as you just talked about, he even helped out his team around the map. Those Dawning Shadows coming in left and right to help out his team. So well deserved, and also Mako just completely popped off.
All right, so we are going to send it off just before we do have our draft starting up, so we'll be back in just a second. See you guys there.
All right, back into the drafts. We got the Wolves, we got the Eagles. It's gonna be a banger. Another one. Wolves already taking off those top laners off the table, trying to get rid of Heroes Pool over there. Quinn also taken away from the side of the Eagles. They don't want to see that being played at all. So we'll see what these teams opt into here for this game 2 of the day. Hopefully it's another banger like the last one.
Yeah, for sure. Really hoping for some exciting stuff, and kind of mean to attack the top laner's champ pool here. I don't know if he has anything up his sleeve other than the Aatrox and the Darius. I hope that he does. And Nico also being banned away. Nico coming into the meta a little bit. It was actually played in support in the LCS. I believe it was Ignar who did it. It was either Ignar or Huhi that played it there, and that works pretty well. It ends up doing a lot more damage than one would think. If you just hit a single E, a single root, you end up being able to do a lot of poke damage with her Q right after.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And something we've been seeing it kind of along with is the Callista. You throw that Nico while she's ulting into the enemy team. It's just easy lockdown CC. That Nico ultimate can be a little bit harder to hit at times. Usually you have to blow a flash or use a rocket belt there to try and close the distance. But if you have a Callista on your side to just throw you in as you're using your ultimate, it can help a lot. So interested to see what they're going to end up choosing there for themselves in these picks. Seraphine picked up once again, and Rengar Gallia for the side of the Eagles.
Yeah, I like the Galio being picked up. I think that's just a really strong pick to affect the map. The Rengar is a little strange, but if you can get fed and get ahead, that champion can certainly take over the game. What I would really love for the Wolves to pick up to complement the Seraphine is, I wasn't going to say Karma, was going to say Hecarim, but having Karma to speed up her allies, as well as having Seraphine to speed up her allies, is going to make this team very fast. Hecarim would have been scarier, in my opinion, than the Graves. I think picking Graves is just fine as an answer to the Rengar, but I'm a big fan of Hecarim right now in this current meta.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you 100%. You get so much utility out of the Onslaught of Shadows, as well as just early pressure on. You can do early ganks, you can farm up. The champion is very versatile, and I'm surprised that we haven't seen it being picked up so far. The Udyr getting taken off the table this time around, so they don't want to see that. Still quite OP, honestly. I think it's a nasty pick over there. Does not really mid-nerf that much, just a clear time on your R a little bit, but other than that, the champion is still completely viable. Turbo Chem Tank just being absolutely insane on that champion. But we're seeing here the second round of bans here. Twitch picked up for the side of the Eagles. So we'll see what they end up choosing here for the last few picks here.
Yeah, we will see. Indeed, they go ahead. The Eagles ban the Lucian away, which I imagine that just has to be a pick that the Wolves ADC likes, right? Because I don't see a world in which the Seraphine doesn't go mid. I guess you could send Karma to either mid lane instead of support, but I just think that support's the best place for her, and putting Seraphine in the mid lane just makes a lot more sense. And for banning Lucian away anyway, for Twitch, is Lucian is going to make Twitch's life a living hell if he's allowed to be in the game. But that being said, if you go AP Twitch, I actually think Lucian has a very hard time of dealing with the rat in the bot lane. But that's just my opinion on that. I really like the Caitlyn ban, because something that Twitch has a really hard time dealing with as an ADC is an opponent's wave clear. And Caitlyn's wave clear is really, really good. Her Q is very, very useful for clearing the wave. But something that I am worried for, and something that I would actually love to see from the Wolves, is to bust out the Sivir for even more move speed.
Man, just throw that on top of the move speed you're already getting with this Rengar or with these other guys here, and so it would be a dope pick here. I'm not sure what it still could be a Galio support. Oh, as I say that, that's gonna be a Thresh locked in. So just forget everything I said. That's a Galio in the mid lane, and that's a Thresh going straight to support. I honestly, this Rengar into Graves matchup, I'm not too familiar on it. I have played Graves quite a bit, but the Rengar one, I think he does a lot better into some of these, squishier, jungle guys. So like Graves, you get so much extra armor and stuff from your True Grit passive on your E. It can be a little bit more difficult to deal with if you're one of those assassin, junglers here. So Graves is pretty good at surviving some of those guys here. Wukong picked up here for the Wolves as well. That's gonna be going right into Dallas's hands. Dallas, the hyper carry. We'll see if he makes it a difference up there in the top lane again. We just saw a big top diff last game, so Dallas trying to show up peak play from last game and try to put his name on the table as well. We'll see what the Wolves here pick up for the last pick. Could very well be their last pick 80 carry, or we might even see a few more some flex picks being moved around here.
Yeah, for sure. And it won't end up being the flex pick. It'll be Tristana, which picking Tristana into Thresh, I don't necessarily agree with. I really, really would have liked to see Sivir here. Sivir is a better ADC than most people think right now. You can go the lethality build, and then you just absolutely shred the wave. No matter what you do as Sivir, like your entire point is to just push the wave, which makes Twitch's life very, very hard compared to dealing with Tristana anyway. And Sivir, of course, can also block the hook, block a lot of the CC that's going to be coming through. And yeah, the Eagles definitely have a lot of CC to dish out right now.
Yeah, this is pretty much like 3 tanks, a Rengar, and Twitch. So they're definitely setting up for this Twitch to be the hyper carry. They want to see Flip Trick absolutely pop off. Gurf down there as well, trying to help him out on the Thresh. See if they can keep their little rat alive. But that's not to say the Wolves don't have a lot of threat for him in that back line. You got the Graves, you got the Wukong, you even got Tristana, who can just jump straight on top of you. But as you were just saying, there's a lot of CC on the side of this Eagles lineup, so gonna be pretty hard to deal with these guys. And not to mention that you got 2 globals in the Galio and in the Shen. So those 2 guys are definitely going to be able to impact the map, and are going to be looking to make plays early around their ultimates and around level 6 once they can finally impact that map from their lanes.
For sure, being able to impact that lane will be very useful. I really want Dallas to just absolutely run top lane again. It will be harder. It will be harder to do than it was against the Gnar last week. I think it was that he had a monster game on, or a monster game against. Shen, I do believe is Wukong's counter, or at least one of Wukong's counters. So going to be a little harder for him to deal with that one. I don't think Rengar should be able to keep up with Graves' farming, at the very least. And I again am still not a fan of that bot lane matchup for the Wolves anyway. Just because I don't think I don't think Karma enables Tristana as much as Tristana wants to be enabled. And I think that Thresh is just too big of a counter for Tristana for her to realistically be able to do anything without just getting shredded by the Twitch as she goes in for her burst.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Karma just very squishy, especially early on. You know, you land one hook on her, it could be very well the death of her. And not to mention, you have a lot of utility there with the Thresh. You could flay Tristana out of her jump there, and then hook her right after. You could even land a hook as she's jumping away, things like that. These little nuances there in that bot lane are going to be what really defines how that lane goes and which bot lane over there comes out on top. As for the mid lane here, I think Galio is a pretty decent matchup into the Seraphine. Pretty good at dealing with some of these AP champions in the mid lane. Not to mention, Seraphine is not the strongest at the very early levels. Does not really get a whole lot of wave clear until she has some more points into that queue, into her main wave clear store. So, gonna be interested to see here if Galio can, you know, get an early advantage on and call Rengar over, call Juicy Chewy into that mid lane, and try and make some differences happen, make it about mid lane, and just a few more minutes until we get to this game. And I gotta ask you again, Shogun, who do you give this draft to?
Okay, so I'm going to have to give this draft. It's once again a little closer, but usually I like to look at the draft from a team's and see who has the better team fight and such. I think this time I'm gonna take it a little bit in a different direction, which is just lane by lane. And for that, I think the Eagles have a better time. They managed to get a winning matchup in their top lane. I'd say a fair. I'd consider Twitch Thresh into Tristana Karma a winning matchup for them as well. The jungle is a little rough, but if they also have Galio winning the matchup against Seraphine, which I don't think Seraphine does nearly enough damage to Galio to be able to hamper him in lane, considering the shield that he gets and the damage, in fact, that he can dish out onto the Seraphine. I think that Rengar is actually going to be enabled by his solo laners as long as everyone plays how they should. Of course, once you take into account how the micro can go, things can get out of hand. If Dallas is just straight up a better player than Hero and can just outplay him at least in the top lane, it does kind of throw everything that we say about draft out the window. But from a laning standpoint and such, I do think that the Eagles won draft. And if I were to take it just by a team comp basis and what your teams can do, I'd actually say they're fairly even, and that's why I'm giving it as a whole to the Eagles.
All right, Shogun. While I agree with you 100% in the draft, the Eagles have won. I'm gonna flip this entirely on its head and say the Wolves are 9-3, Eagles 4-8. These guys have not won 9 of their 12 games for no reason, right? These guys have been the better players consistently. They've been trying to pop off every game. Dallas, as we saw last week, just making it a diffy in the top lane. So really, really interested to see which team's going to come out on top. You know, draft can make the biggest difference sometimes, but at the end of the day, we've seen it a lot. You know, not just today, but like in pro play and things like that. If you can just outplay your opponents, the draft don't matter. You can just pop off, absolutely kill people, and make things like that happen. And I know I did ask you who won the draft, and I agree with you. Eagles won it, but I want to see action. I want the Wolves to pop off, but I want to see the Eagles fight back completely. I want them to make it about them. I want it to be an upset win, because who doesn't love an underdog story, you know? And just a few more seconds till we get into the game here. And you know, you got the the magic trio of girls down there in the bot lane for the Wolves, the Spice Girls. You got the Karma, Seraphine, Trist, alongside the Monkey and Graves. Going to be a pretty interesting composition over there. So, while I think the Eagles might have a lot of priority early on with their picks over there, with the Galio and the Shen, I think they can definitely make some action happen over there for the Wolves. So it should be an interesting matchup. Gonna be the last game of the day, the second game of the day, right after the last banger. I'm hoping we have another one. So in a few seconds here, we're gonna get it loaded back into the game, and as we get ready, I'm gonna send you to a short break, and we'll be back very soon.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like that, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe.
All right, we're back into the game, back for our LAS draft game 2 of the day. We got the Wolves versus the Eagles. 9-3 coming into the day are the Wolves, while the Eagles over there on the other side 4-8. So definitely looking for a win for themselves. It's going to be a banger, I hope. These compositions are quite interesting, a lot different than what we saw last game. The only picks that are coming through similarly are the Tristana, Seraphine, and Thresh. Oh Lord, that was a nasty little hook that almost landed. Not even letting me get the intro in here, but as we get into this game, we'll run down the teams real quick. For the blue side, for the Wolves, Dallas up there in the top lane on the Wukong with Ignite, Pig Boss Moo in the jungle running the Graves. Not top 3, Seraphine in the mid lane to Fly, and Jar Jar in the bot lane running Trist and Karma. And for the Eagles as well, on the other side, for the red side, we got Hero up there in the top lane on the Shen, Juicy Chewy in the jungle, Kilwa Zoldyck on the Galio in the mid lane, and Fliptrick and Gurf, the admins over there, the homies in the bot lane, running the Twitch and Thresh combo.
Yeah, very excited to see what these two teams can do. Really excited for the bot lane because it's either going to be super slow and boring, or Tristana's going to try to get a little hypey, and that's going to really lead to some explosive fights. This Wukong might be able to look for something onto the Shen. Did take Ignite, so we'll have a... I was going to say early advantage, but those auto attacks are really, really annoying from the Shen. He does a lot of more damage than you really expect him to with those early auto attacks. But we'll see what Dallas can do.
I gotta agree with you there, Hero. That fat Q with the grass proc just barely onto Dallas already. Dallas having to take the Ignite there to try and get an advantage for himself up here in the top lane. But he does hit the level 2 first, is looking for an early trade here. Finds a little bit of damage back, but that bone plating for his grasp is just so useful for Hero. Dallas getting hyphy now, using Ignite. One more auto attack will do it, Hero! Oh, that's first blood again in the top lane. Dallas finding the kill onto him, looking to make it a difference up there very early on. And while all that was happening, action down here on the bot lane. Ignite was used there from Gurf to try and get something back onto DeFly. They don't find it in the end there, but back to that top lane, Dallas just barreling onto him with that Wukong.
Yeah, and well, hold on. Oh no, he'll be just fine. Be able to walk out of that one. And yeah, so the Ignite and for the Wukong ends up paying off, and now Shen's gotta be a little afraid. Yeah, Wukong hasn't spent his money yet, but okay, he just back to do so now. Only got a longsword, doesn't have much else. And in the bot lane, just a little bit of trading going on, nothing too crazy. Shouldn't be anything too crazy yet. Tristana wants to go ahead and push this wave under the tower, get it bouncing back towards her. She needs to be doing that a lot faster than she is right now, or else it could freeze. I don't think it will. Yeah, that'll go right under tower. That'll be just fine. And yeah, really excited to see what Wukong can do once he gets back to lane. Doesn't have teleport, but he doesn't need it to get back this time. And also, ooh, the Wolves bot lane setting up a bit of a cheese brush. Might be able to find something on top Thresh. Oh no.
Oh, looks like they're looking for it. Gurf trying to find the hook. Absolutely hits nothing. Just hits the minion. I think they're going to be fine, though. Gurf not in the worst spot there. Still had the flash, so if he did get rooted up and, locked up there from the Tristana as well, he would have been completely fine. Overall, though, just looking for early action, and that's what I like to see. I wanted to see blood in the water, man. I wanted the Sharks to come hunting. I know they're not playing this game, but I wanted to see them anyway. Instead, we got the Wolves and the Eagles, two, big predators, two top tier. I don't know where I was going with
Apex
this.
Predator.
Apex Predator, thank you, Salt, in my ear. Just gonna be able to do a lot of work here for their team. So we're gonna see which one of these guys comes out on top. Eagles definitely looking for the win here, and the gold, even though the first blood went over to the side of the Wolves, it's still completely even. So both sides farming up extremely well.
Yeah, both sides doing a good job of keeping a rhythm of farming. Shen actually getting a pretty big lead here on the Wukong. Wukong having probably mismanaged his wave, and because he doesn't have teleport, that was going to happen there. Probably should have taken it back as soon as he got the kill on the top side, or I wasn't exactly sure what the wave state was, but either way, that's hand in why he has a lot less money right now, or a lot less CS right now. But other than that, things are looking relatively even. I think at most CS is going to be about or the CS differentials are going to be about 6, and Wukong might be in some trouble.
Could very well be in the trouble, yeah, but he's gonna walk away in the end. There has to just back. He's gonna give away another fat wave under tower, or give away that wave again. I can have that priority when he does come back. But as we saw there, Gray's getting a little bit of invade there onto him, but hold that thought, because Fliptrick is getting engaged on by the fly over here. Gurf not able to find anything just yet. Fliptrick having to flash away and blow the heal, so the bot lane from the side of the Wolves getting the better of these guys so far.
Yeah, that was a really nice flash flay from the Thresh, being able to do, as I said, pretty much counter the Tristana, not allowing her to get anything else done. And hold on.
Hold that thought, because Killua went real aggro onto not top 3 in the mid lane. Was looking for that action, but not able to really find anything, but little skirmish or little fights like that are really what can get you the better of this lane. You saw that now she has to back. Galio is going to have first move onto this dragon and onto this Rift Scuttler, so it's going to mean a lot down here, and Rengar is going to be able to get a little bit more of a lead here, get that extra XP from that Scuttle, and overall it's going to be pretty good for himself and for his team, getting a little bit more gold in his pockets. That we do see some pings around here from the red side, that they do have vision, so Juicy Chewy wants none of it, and he's going to get out of there with the Dark Passage from Thresh over there.
And getting away as fast as he can from that dragon pit. Don't think he was in any immediate danger though. I think he was just fine. And I will say that the Eagles here are slowly but steadily managing to get some CS leads on the jungle and the bot side of the map. I should have been paying a little closer attention to their jungle pathing. I was not, so I don't know entirely why Graves is a little behind. I imagine the Rengar I don't think he got double scuttle at the very least. But hold on a second.
Ooh, Gurf looking for some action here. Fliptrick is using W. Has not used the expend just yet onto the damage, but Juicy Chewy is here, has the ultimate, has that unseen competitor, is trying to look for some more. Juicy Chewy looking for some more damage. The fly is going to go down. That's Fliptrick. That's the rat. He's going to be able to find a kill there. And that's going to be him looking pretty good there. They did end up killing the Tristana. Now, Fliptrick and Gurf are going to get full control of this lane. Are going to be able to push these waves in and make Tristana lose a lot of CS over here in this bot lane.
Yeah, for sure. And, well, a fight's still happening on the top side.
And Dallas, anytime we look up here, it's just action. Doesn't matter what he's doing. So, Big Boss Moo, though, trying to look for something here onto Killua. Does not find anything else. Has to pull the flash. Zoldyck able to get away in the end there. But at the end of the day, it's not going to be the most. And overall, Juicy Chewy comes back to his top side to defend his camp. So, pretty good for himself. But Seraphine and Braves are up here. They're going to be possibly looking for something onto Hero. Hero should have backed up a long time ago. That's going to be a TP coming in from the mid lane. Hopefully Galio can help out his buddy here. He does have the ultimate. Can he use it? He does use it now. Here comes the Hero's entrance. He finds the knockup onto Dallas. Flash for flash. It's going to be a 2 charms going out onto the side of the Eagles over here. And that's going to be 3 kills for 0. That's Wolves wiping them up. Take the mop and sweep it around. I don't know what else to say there. That was a 3 for 0. That was an absolute wipe from the Wolves up there in the top lane.
And that is just heartbreaking for Eagles because Graves was 1 HP, 1 auto attack away from dying and still is able to get out. It was so low and it was so close, but also just a really nice play. I think it was from Wukong who had gotten over the wall, but then I think he flashes over the wall, waits a second, sees his team, realizes, hey, I can join this, I can still dish out enough damage that everything should be fine, blasts himself over the wall, is able to make sure that Graves doesn't die and picks up that kill. So really, really nice play from the Wukong, and Dallas is becoming more and more of an absolute unit this game.
No, Shogun, going into this game, we were talking about Dallas, how he was popping off last week, and he's looking very well to do the same thing this week. He does not care who he's playing against, doesn't care what he's playing. Wukong, he does like that champion, so overall, I think if you give this man comfort, you have to be willing to, either play weak side or understand that the game is going to go in his favor if he does decide to play aggressive. The game has been paused here for a few seconds. We'll see what the reason is, and we'll try to get back to you in a few seconds here. Flip Trick having some connection issues, it looks like. So as we wait for them to get back into the game, we can talk a little bit more about how that top lane fight happened and now how that ballooned them to be almost 3K gold in the lead.
Right, yeah. So essentially, Shen's just too far up, right? So he was trying to just get some farm, and the rest of the Wolves say, hey, this is a really good play. This is pretty much a free play. They bring up Seraphine. They bring over Graves, who was already in the area. I believe he had just finished taking the Raptors, or the Eagles Raptors, and they're going up. And the teleport coming through from the Seraphine is what really makes sure. I actually don't think she teleported. Oh, no. She did. And the teleport from her is what really ends up helping them secure that kill. And the teleport in response, or the ulti in response from the I'm blanking. Galio, from the Galio, was a really good play in general. Like, I think it's really good of the Galio to be looking for those plays, but because he goes there and they're not able to get anything out of that fight, it makes it really hard. It ends up being a waste of not only your ultimate that could have been saved to maybe help bot lane, but you're also giving up gold. You're also giving them more gold and such, which is also not the greatest look in that situation. And it all stems off of Shen just being a little too far up, unfortunately.
Crazy how just taking one step too far up your own lane and cause deaths for 3 of your teammates. So overall, Hero, while he was getting a lot better of these trades against his Wukong, that one play absolutely changed the face of that top lane. 2 plates taken away, as we're talking about, and just overall, Dallas just making it a difference up there once again. Has that 300 gold bounty, so if we see another rotation there from Juicy Chewy and Killua up to that top lane, they could be getting that extra gold into their pockets, which would very well help them out. I'm surprised we haven't seen any rotation here onto this dragon. It looks like possibly the Eagles here are looking to do that very soon. And just to get back into the pause here, it was a little bit of connection issues. So we'll see if Flip Trick can get back into the game here very shortly, as we wait for the rest of everybody else to come back and get back into this game. But again, we haven't seen Hero try and make a play. You have the submarine comp. I'm gonna just point that out real quick. You got Shen Twitch. You should be using the stealth, right? Like a submarine. I think we've all heard it. Submarine
Yeah.
Twitch, go invis, Shen on top of that. Then you ult with the Galio, right? That should be your comp, right? And then you have of course, you have the Rengar here as well, Unseen Predator, to stealth and kill somebody like that. So there's a lot of little creative plays that the side of the Eagles can make. So I really, as we get back into this game, I really want to see them, go for some of these plays because if they're gonna be, just straight up 3v3, 5v5, I 100% give the team fighting chance to the Wolves. So I think we were talking about this in draft as well. You have to be looking for these plays with this type of composition because it is a playmaking comp. So for the side of the Eagles, and you really need to start moving around the map a little bit more. If anything, just sacrifice some waves, sacrifice a little bit of your lane. If you can get priority around these objectives and get some kills on to your carries, it can very well lead to a Twitch here, just completely taking over a game.
Yeah, for sure. This getting this Twitch fed is realistically the Eagles' only win condition. That is the only way they can win this game. That's their only consistent form of damage. And that's actually worrying. Thinking about it more, yes, the side of the Wolves don't have a great tank. Hold on a second.
Fliptrick getting engaged up, but that's just Chen ultimate. I want to see it used aggressively. Come on, go back in. Juicy Chewy now going into it. Use the Unseen Predator to try and find it. That's going to be a hook missing onto the members of the bot lane here from the Wolves. Not going to be able to find anything else. It could have been a proactive play, but we just didn't see it from the side of the Eagles here. Maybe feeling a little bit discouraged after that last fight up there, but overall, the Wolves have just been getting the better of these trades around the map. Have been just out pressuring the side of the Eagles, so we really need to see them, start playing a little bit more proactively and start trying to play around these ultimates because you do have a top laner that can cover for you. You do have a mid laner that can help you out as well. So I just need to see that. I just need to see more of that.
For sure, that's definitely what you want. And as I was trying to say beforehand, before the fight interrupted, is that your only damage threat being Twitch is really not good. And hold on a second.
Big Boss Moo just stuck behind enemy lines, tries to use the E to get over the wall. Is not gonna be able to do it. Gets double taunted. That's 2 taunts going into him, but that's a Cyclone coming down from the Wukong now. Juicy Chewy getting real low. Can he get away from this? He does not look like he'll be able to. Dallas is just in a 1v3. He does not care. Is he gonna be able to make it happen? Is he gonna find a second here? Ignite goes down to kill him. He's gonna walk away. Stylously just him. Hero now getting slowed up by the Seraphine. Could this be his triple? Not gonna be able to find it in the end. The ultimate does come out. He does get rooted up there. Not able to find it. That's a triple kill for the monkey. But hold that, because down in the bot lane, Flip Trick is trying to flip down the bot lane of these guys, of the Wolves. They do find one back onto him. Fly and Jar Jar just going way too far up. They saw all the action going up there and they wanted part of it, but overall Dallas just destroying the side of the Eagles. That was just nasty.
Yeah, and just because I want to touch on the bot lane, I'm going to summarize what we saw in the top side, which is just Dallas diff. Honestly, like that's all I can realistically say about that. That's all I got for you. Just Wukong absolutely demolishing 3 members of the team with a little bit of help from Seraphine, admittedly. But in the bot side, as I was talking about before, you have just hold on.
Yeah, there's a lot of people going in here. That's 4 members from the side of the Eagles here. They don't want to give up this dragon for free, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to in the end there. Fliptrick stuck behind enemy lines there. He's on the wrong side of that dragon pit. Hero now over here in the top lane getting beat down, but hold that thought because the fly is going in. Here comes Killua. He's trying to find the taunt. He just finds it onto one. The fly is trying to stay alive. He uses that jump to get away in the end there, and that's going to be a 2-for-1 over there in that bot lane.
Yeah, for sure. It was looking a little rough there for us, for the Wolves, but they do have Wukong doing what he did in the game last week. He's applying as much pressure to the top side of the map as possible, trying to get these towers, and he's looking like he could have maybe gone for some more damage, but doesn't want to greed too hard from it. Is crashing that wave under, denying as many minions from the Shen as possible, and is if he is slowly getting, or not so slowly anymore, very rapidly getting a lead in the top side, being 6-0 and 0. He's definitely a force to be reckoned with for this Wolves team. And as I was saying before, with the Tristana did get a little hyphy when she saw Wukong getting a triple kill, thought she was able to do some damage to the Twitch, but that's exactly what the Twitch Thresh want you to do. They want you to W in, so because after that, if Thresh gets onto you, you have no way of getting away from these two. And Thresh, very similarly to the Senna last game, if he just spaces himself correctly, can do a lot of damage to the Tristana without really being answered.
Yeah, 100% I agree there. And the Twitch just able to get a lot more than that Tristana there so far. DeFly and Jar Jar have just been trying to go completely aggro onto them, but it hasn't meant the most for them. Not top 3 has just been moving around the map, and we saw him and Pigwell Smooth try to go for that dragon earlier, but it completely flipped as soon as the 4-man squad from the Eagles show up and use their globals in a proactive way, just to try and get onto that dragon and trying to make a play happen. And we just saw Dallas steal away that red buff. Sad day for the Rengar, so it's not going to be the most, but overall it is a small advantage. Can't take it away there from the Rengar. And we see the Rengar also hovering down here onto this bot side, possibly looking for a play. We'll see if he ends up going in for it, but overall the Wolves have just been getting better at the first 15 minutes of this game.
Yeah, the first 15 minutes of the game were definitely Wolves favored, but that being said, that is not when the Eagles thrive. The Eagles will thrive in the late game, and so the Twitch doing what he can to make sure that he's scaling up, making sure that he is getting a lead onto the Tristana, and that can really work out for them unless Twitch just dies. This is a comp where if you just kill the ADC, there's nothing left for your team to do. If I'm being quite honest here, once Twitch goes down, they have really no damage on their team.
Yeah, and as we were just breaking down how that bot lane has to go for the side of the Eagles, and how the Twitch has to stay alive, has to have these 3 meatballs just standing in front of him. Wukong blew the flash in the mid lane, and now he's looking for some more onto the top lane. Hero getting ignited under the tower. Dallas just does not want to stop playing aggressive. Does take 3 tower shots, so gonna be quite low. Can't really look for anything else. But the Graves is up here to try and help out the Wukong push up this lane even further. It allows him to play more aggressively. And Rengar has been sitting down here in this bot bush for quite a while. They might be looking for a play. Stand United and Hero's Entrance are up, so they could very well look to use these 2 ultimates to try and make a play. Just goes back to farming his Gromp though, so not going to mean the most, but would have liked to see possibly another play down there on the bot side.
Yeah, another play on the bot side would have been nice. However, I don't think Thresh might be looking for something. I'm just going to clear out that vision. It's very hard for them to actually go in. It's a lot easier for them to play this lane, waiting for Tristana to make a mistake like she did before and punishing it accordingly. And that's not how they want to play it in their minds. I feel like they want to go for a flashy play, and well, here it comes.
This might be the flashy play of the need. That's a taunt onto the back line, onto the fly. That's 2 members down from the side of the Wolves. That's them making the play. That's what I wanted to see. That's the submarine. And they find it. They make it happen. That's another kill going onto your Twitch there. He's going to be able to get some more gold into his pocket playing now against the Dallas. This guy is still 6-0-0. 2 items. Has the Ravenous Hydra along with the Gourd Drinker. It's going to be very hard to kill this Wukong. Very hard to kill this Monkey. Gurf possibly looking for a hook here. But there are 4 members just sitting in fog here for the side of the Eagles. And they're going to be possibly looking for this dragon here. Haven't started up just yet. So see if they pull the trigger and try to make it happen.
The chance they want to take care of Wukong because they don't want to die before as they take the dragon, and I feel like they should have just done it. I think that would have been a fine play, but now they are very split up. It's going to be hard for them to secure this dragon, and because they took so long to try to do this, yeah, Graves is just going to pop the Rift Herald in the mid lane. The Wolves' bot side is going to come over to the dragon, and they just get to collect this for free. Kind of a weird hesitation from the Eagles that cost them this objective.
Just letting you guys know, I am slightly behind. If you pause for 1 second, I should be in sync. I'm at 1824 right now. Bye.
Okay, and overall, here comes a fight onto the bot side. Could be seeing something happen. Gurf looking for the engagers. Now he's going to be able to find it. Shields Duran comes out from Killua. He's not able to find anything though. Pigboss who finds the ultimate, finds that collateral damage onto 1. Juicy Chewy trying to stay alive, but that's going to be that charge going and killing over there onto Juicy Chewy. They're not going to be able to find anything. That's a complete wipe from the side of the Wolves. And that's 4 for 0 for them. They're going to be able to look for something here. They just got a lot of priority over there in that bot lane. And overall, they're going to be able to find the kills, find the towers now, and push in these waves.
Yeah, for sure. And lo and behold, the only one that gets to survive that entire thing is Twitch. The rest of the Eagles know that, hey, the only way we ever win a fight is if Twitch stays alive, and they do everything in their power to keep the Twitch alive, but Twitch not able to do any damage without putting himself in harm's way, and because of that, ends up dying, and because they have no other damage besides that, they end up not getting anything for their trouble. And something, I want to amend my statement. I think I take it back, not because of the results themselves of this game, but I'm starting to see more weaknesses in this draft, and for the Eagles, the only weakness being the lack of damage that they have. I would be okay if they had a larger damage threat in the top lane. Yeah, you can say Rengar is a damage threat, but it's not consistent damage. It's not consistent damage like the Twitch would dish out, or like having an Orianna in the mid lane would be able to give, or maybe a Syndra or something like that. And I think there's a chance that a Syndra, even instead of the Galio, could have rounded out this team composition better. Or even, I actually think a Lilia would have been really, really good for the jungle.
Yeah, just extra sources of damage and even magic damage that you could be very well lacking from the mid lane. You know, Galio's single target damage, really, you can really only burst one person down, and while that can be useful, there's just too much single target damage. The only person who's going to be really AoEing here is Flip Trick in that bot lane on that Twitch. So as you're talking about, yeah, they just really lack damage here on the side of the Eagles, and it's starting to show. It's starting to cost them in these fights. There's nobody to really threaten the carries. Like, yeah, you got 2 tanks or 3 tanks going into the back line, but when they don't do damage, there's real no threat. You can just peel away. You have the ultimate there from the Tristana to push people away, as well as Karma Shields to, you know, keep people alive. So not going to mean the most there. And Kilo here, possibly looking for something that's not top 3, getting a little bit too cocky, getting a little bit too aggressive there, was a little bit too far in the lane. Flip Trick finds a kill. That's going to be 2 more members on the side of the Wolves here, but that's Juicy Chewy staying alive. Here comes the Galio Killer looking for some more. Hook lands off to nobody. Gurf just not able to find out. Flip Trick is here. One more auto attack will do it. Can he find it? The fly is now going down as well. He's gonna be able to find a double kill, hopping all over the map. Dallas is looking for some more. That's gonna be another wipe. While they found the kill on the bot lane, what did it cost, Eagles? What did it cost your entire team? Hero not able to get there in time, not able to stay long enough. And overall, it's going to be the Eagles here not able to make the plays happen, because while they found that kill, their team is just getting ran in the jungle. So Eagles not able to make that play that they wanted happen. And now the Wolves have a very good position here in this game to just look onto the Baron and look to siege these towers.
Yeah, I think they're just able to take this Baron. I don't think necessarily there's anything that the Eagles can do. Yeah, I guess Rengar could go for a steal, if anything. That would be a decent play, but if the Wolves are smart, they're able to zone him off accordingly. If he does go for a play like that, making sure, or they at least... So something that I learned recently about going for Dragon when you know that there's a jungler up is you want to call out your burst. So what that means is, instead of just like the Baron's getting lower, it's getting lower, and it gets to like 2,000, you just start screaming, yeah, burst, 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 and then you go, you talk about it a little more calmly beforehand. You go, so say you had like Wukong, your Wukong Graves and Tristana there, and you say, okay, Tristana, I want you to start building up your explosive charge at around, well, hold on a second, Seraphine might be a little caught out here. Oh no.
She could very well be. The hook lands onto not top 3. It's not going to be the most just yet. Uses the ultimate, the Encore, to try and find 2. He does find 2. Subjects haven't used heal to get away in the end there. But this Dragon could very well go into their hands. So Wolves, not the worst position here. And yeah, we can talk more about the bursting here.
Right, yeah, so before anything else happens, and they should get this Dragon, no problem. Essentially what you want to do is burst it like you see here. If you had Tristana, you do the explosive charge at say 3,000. And you all start bursting, and then you say, okay, cool, at like, you try to know, oh no.
Oh, Dallas does not care how many members are here. He's just healing up the entire health bar of the enemy champion. Juicy Chewy looking to flash in, to not find it. Now top 3 finds a kill onto him. Now Gurf going in over the wall with the hook. Not able to find anything, just plays back 2 and it goes down in the end there. That's a Hero's entrance. Try and be the hero here, but Hero is in front of everybody. That was a lot of Hero said in one sentence. So now Flip Trick is going to stay alive, but at the cost of the jungle and the support from the Eagles. Not top 3 and Dallas just putting on a 2v5 show over there, while the rest of his team is just pushing onto the bot lane.
For sure, no one should go down here, or in the bot lane at least. And back once again, back to the burst. Is you wanna, so say Tristana's explosive charge does like, I don't know, 1800 damage, or Smite does somewhere around, or I guess her charge would do something more like 700 at the for when it actually goes off. So say it does 700. You want to try to time it so that your E will go off when the Baron has about somewhere like 1500 HP. And so you try to call that out. You coordinate with it with your team, and then you all call the burst at one time. You have the jungler coordinate all of that, call the burst, and then so he can control when the smite happens. It's a lot easier if you had something like a Cho'Gath who does 1000 true damage. So you just say, okay, Cho'Gath at 1900 health, hit your ultimate, and then there's almost no chance for the other jungle to be able to steal that, instead of being a 50-50 smite steal scenario. It's more of an 80-20.
Yeah, I agree with 100%. That feast or things like that, you know, Syndra Scatter the Weak, also very useful in those situations. You can do just thousands of damage with one ability. Just being able to layer that burst all at once is so good for securing. And while that's happening, the Eagles might be trying to secure themselves some kills over here. Dallas now having to go away. That's a double taunt landed onto 2. Not going to be in the most just yet. No ultimates have been used just yet. Dallas is absolutely blowing up Juicy Chewy. It's not going to be in the most just yet. Gurf lands a hook onto Dallas, but Tristana is here. She jumps over the wall. She's just jumping all over the place. The Fly is looking for some more damage. Killua not able to do anything in this fight. Double kill now with the Seraphine. Gurf is just getting hooked, or is trying to hook him. Not going to be the most. The Fly just getting shielded up and kept alive, while Pig Boss Moo is just taking the game into his hands. You know, they're winning 4v5s. At this point, I think the game was over when they won the first 2v5. So the Wolves is absolutely destroying the Eagles after 15 minutes. And at 15 minutes had the complete lead of the game. The Fly and his team, Dallas and his team, 9-1-8 on the Wukong. I think it's another Dallas if I gotta say it. But every member on the side of the Wolves played absolutely incredible. And they're going to pick up the win and move to 10-3.
Yeah, and something I want to talk about, that last fight was just really good from Dallas, being able, like, yeah, it looks like they get a pick, and then he just flips it on his head and just starts killing everybody, and there's nothing they can really do about it. And because they're so busy dealing with Wukong, Tristana W's into like 2 or 3 people, and no one can do anything about her, and she's just like, yeah, I'm here, what you gonna do about it? Starts firing into Twitch's face, and there is nothing that they can do about it. And she's just able to get as many kills as she wants, gets to hop to wherever she wants, because the main damage threat is being dealt with, and then can't really answer the Tristana. Once he goes down, Tristana can do whatever she wants and is able to just clean up the rest of the fight with her top laner, who is also just phenomenally ahead.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That Tristana just having full control in that last fight. Just hop around, control it, and Dallas just one-shotting Juicy Chewy at the start of that. While Hero found a nice engage at the start, and just try to find something for his team, try to make that desperation happen. It was just too late and too far gone. The game was just too much in the favor of them. Again, we got to give it over to the Wolves here, finding that win for themselves. And if you are watching, make sure you vote for your player of the game, for your POG vote over there. It is going on in chat right now, so make sure you vote over there. Overall, though, the Wolves just running the top of the table as usual. These guys have not let up. We saw them do it last week. We saw them do it this week. These guys are definitely controlling them, their play, and coming out on top in a lot of these situations. They've just been able to, lane better, and we saw the Fly and we saw Defly and Jar Jar get a little bit too aggressive down there, and Flip Trick was able to find some kills over there. But at the end of the day, it didn't really matter when there's a giant Wukong running through your entire team. So overall, Dallas is my player of the game. I just want to just let that out there. I think they may have had a little bit better of a composition here because, as we were talking about in game, the damage sources on the side of the Eagles were just too minimum and too thin. So overall, the Wolves were able to just come on top of that. So we'll see who ends up getting the vote here. So it should be here in a few minutes.
Yeah, really hoping Dallas gets it. I really think, personally, that Dallas deserves it after that performance for sure. I think he doubled everybody's damage individually. I don't know necessarily if that's quite accurate. Looks like they were doing about 11,500 damage, and he was doing somewhere around 21,000. So maybe not quite doubling everybody's, but I think the only people that he didn't double were the Seraphine and Tristana, which are his other carries on his team.
Yeah, for sure. The carries on his team also putting in work there. Seraphine finding some insane engages as well. Overall just playing pretty well himself. So not top 3 able to make that happen. And Defly in that last fight, as we talked about earlier, just popping off, man. He was just jumping around, did not care. While the Graves on the other side is just ending the game. Says, all right, guys, you go have your fun. I want the win over here. So in the end, makes it happen. We did see some glimmers of hope. I got to see my submarine once. While I only got to see it one time, it was still worth seeing. I did like the use of it. Go invis and then ult on top of them and try to make that happen. So overall, Eagles they did their best, right, with their composition. I would have just liked to see a little bit more proactive plays being made with that type of composition, because if you're going to opt in for a sole damage source, you really had to try your best and get them ahead, or even more ahead, because to Flip Trick's credit, they did find quite a few 2v2 kills down there on that bot lane. So overall, pretty good out of them, but it just wasn't enough today. So they got to go back to the drawing board and see what they can change up for next week and for the weeks coming up.
All right, just send it to break.
All right, and make sure you vote for your player of the game. Once again, we're going to send us a break for a few minutes, and when we get back, we'll break down this game even more.
All right, everyone. So it is going to be Mr. Jar Jar as your player of the game. Might be a little different than some of our opinions, but I mean, he did play well. He was supporting like he was supposed to, and he only had 1 death and 10 assists. Hey, that's what you want from a support. You don't want him taking kills. You just want him helping out the game, helping out everyone around you. And Jar Jar did his job of keeping his teammates alive, although it was a little hard with the Tristana jumping in a few times into enemy territory and maybe dying a little bit. But I mean, what can you do if you're Karma? There's not much you can do to stop your Tristana from jumping in. But I think this game was mostly a Dallas diff with the help Dallas and friends, really. But what do you have to say, Jackson?
Oh, I 100% think it's a Dallas and Friends diff. Dallas having the most KP in the game, the most damage in the game by a lot. He had the most gold in the game because he had the most kills as well, going 9-1-8
He
for
popped off. What
a
more can we say?
yeah, a KDA of about 17. This guy was absolutely nuts. There was really nothing anybody could do about him. And I feel like the Wukong is what, as I was saying earlier, was enabling the rest of his team to just go off.
Definitely, definitely. If it wasn't for him, I think it would have been a lot harder for them to win, especially since he was able to just 1v3, 1v5 at some points of the game. He was incredibly far ahead. He was able to burn a lot of cooldowns. He was just there whenever his team needed anything. And he just allowed, even though his bot lane was losing a little bit, not by Jar Jar's fault by any means, but he was just able to help everyone out. He was there when they needed him. He used that ignite really well. You know, most top laners are known for taking teleport to help out the team, but if you're there for rotations beforehand and just winning your lane so hard that it's better for you to just get more resources than be there, I think that's just a lot better overall. Sometimes ignite is worth it, sometimes it's not, and in this case, it was.
Was definitely worth it. I'm never really a fan of my top laners taking ignite. But then my top laners will have a game like this, and I'll just go, oh, okay,
Exactly.
carry. I appreciate that.
But overall, I think it was relatively well played from everyone on the side of the Wolves. Other than a couple of unwarranted deaths from DeFly, but we've seen him play a lot better in a lot of other games, so I think this is more of just an off day for him in game number 2. But for the Eagles, I think they played it very well at certain points of the game. They had a lot of chances. They unfortunately just were not able to execute properly, but the intention was there, and I think that's very good going forward. I think what matters more about the play is making the play with the intention in mind and failing the play, or making a bad play but the results work. I think that's more important. It's better to have the intention in mind rather than just go for a play because you think it's good.
Exactly. I 100% agree with that sentiment.
Especially that 3v3 in the top lane, it did look winning, and the intention was there because it helps Hero get back into the game and accelerates that Rengar, puts him ahead. However, there were just a couple misexecution errors in that fight, a couple of micro mistakes, and that, sure, it was a game-losing play over there, but the intention was there, so even though it didn't turn out as planned, I definitely think it was not a bad play by any means. They just needed to execute a little bit better, and that could have turned the tide of the game, made it even, or even pushed the Eagles ahead.
I 100% agree with that.
Definitely. And I think everyone from the Wolves played incredibly well. Not Top 3 was doing his job as a Seraphine, keeping his Wukong alive, just generally being there throughout the entire game. But one thing to note, Killua was behind, and Killua was there when they needed him. He used his ults to try and catch up members that they were able to, and I think he played very, very well. He was able to help make a lot of those catches, but one thing that they did not have was that proactivity, but I think one problem with that was because they were so far behind that even if they did make a proactive play, they just did not have the numbers, they did not have the wallets to actually make those plays work.
Yeah, for sure. And we even saw the Galio make some proactive plays that just went bad, like in the top side where I believe, I don't think Wukong got a triple kill. It wasn't that play. It was something else where Galio ults up, but then Seraphine teleports in, and Graves is there as well, and they're not able to get anything for the resources they spend, and that proactivity ends up being, it ends up backfiring very hard for them.
Definitely. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that they were behind. They did not have the wallets. But the intention was there, and even though it didn't work out, we at least like to know that they tried for something that could have worked. And even if you are behind, you have to go for plays. If you're not going for plays, you're just going to slowly bleed out because there was such a gigantic snowball in front of them. If they don't make plays, they're not going to be able to do anything. And even though they did end up losing because of a lot of these proactive plays, they have to go for them, otherwise they just have no chance.
Yeah, I just was gonna say that I 100% agree with that. It's just like acknowledge or trying to figure out and discern which plays are the plays that you want to go for is a big part of how this team can improve. It's like maybe they don't go for that play, but they try to find something on the bot side where they know that they're winning and try to go for a play there instead.
Yeah. But we know they're going for the plays. They just need to figure out which ones to go for instead. I think they have the right mindset. They just need to sharpen it a little bit. If they spend a little bit more time in the drawing board, maybe just figuring out plays that have higher percentages, they definitely went for a lot of 50-50s or even 40-60s in favor of the enemy team. I think they did go for some plays that generally would not work, but that intention was there.
For sure.
But overall, well played from both teams. We did see some lights coming from the side of the Eagles. They had their chances, they just weren't able to capitalize. One thing to note, Hero did play that lane very well in the very, very early stages. Even though he did give up first blood because of the Ignite, he was able to hold that freeze and make sure he was able to actually stay relatively even with Dallas up until that triple kill did happen. So he was just making sure that Dallas had to farm from very, very far up and have the threat of Rengar there. It just didn't go very well when the triple kill did happen, but Hero did have some good intentions up there, and Flip Trick played that bot lane very well. They did punish Defly and Jar Jar for playing overly aggressive at times, mostly Defly going into both Flip Trick and Gurf. I don't think jumping into a Thresh and Twitch is the smartest plan. Sometimes it did work out, but for the most part, they were punished for it. But it was mostly just Defly dying and Jar Jar getting away with his life. But I think the Twitch played very, very well. If it wasn't for some unfortunate circumstances up in the top lane, I definitely think the Eagles could have had a better chance. But I do think that most of the players on the Eagles had a better day.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, on the Wolves had a better day. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But I got what you meant.
Yeah. But any closing thoughts before we do end for tonight?
Other than I am really excited to see what the Wolves will be able. I believe have they been locked into the playoffs?
It is week 7. I do believe they are locked for playoffs. If they did win game number 1, I think it's pretty much guaranteed at this point, and I do believe they did win game number 1. So I definitely think they are guaranteed at this point. But even if not as a first seed, I think they're definitely guaranteed as at least a second or even a third. But in my opinion, I think they have first locked. The Eagles, on the other hand, they are not locked in for playoffs. They do not have that third seed yet, but they do have a chance to make it. They were tied with the third place team at the beginning of the day. If they did win game 1, they can make playoffs. I think the Eagles have a good chance if they sharpen up a little bit, if they get that cohesion working a little bit more, get that decision making. I think if they have a primary shot caller to make those plays, because I think they did go for a lot of plays, but some plays just didn't make sense. And I think having one person making decisions is going to help out a lot more. It seemed like it was coming from multiple heads, multiple voices making decisions. And I think having one person make them is going to be a lot more helpful.
I 100% agree with you there. I think the Eagles do have a pretty good shot at making playoffs as long as they make those adjustments that you said.
So tomorrow we do have the LRS draft taking place. We have a couple of spicy games there. And on Wednesday and Thursday, we do have the pre-made leagues going on. Wednesday to Friday, I'm sorry. We do have the pre-made leagues going on. So hope to see you guys there. We will be back. I will be back on the desk on Wednesday and Thursday. Hope to see you guys there. Have a good night. We will see you back at 8 p.m. tomorrow for the LRS draft. See you guys tomorrow. Take care.
Yeah. Whew.